Hello crafters! Some of you are letting me know that you're still having some troubles with figuring out this whole mockups thing. It can be kind of tricky, but it honestly saves you so much money and time, so I am committed to helping you figure out how to do this. So we're going to go with the free version of everything today. You will not have to pay for any of these things. Let's get into the tutorial. The first thing I did was go around my house and take pictures with things that pretty much everyone would have in their house. So for this example, I am using a mug, but you could use an Easter egg or whatever you have that you are trying to create a mock-up for. So the first thing I did was I took a picture with just my table. I laid it against my table. Now, depending what your item is, maybe it will not sit flat on the table, but that is an option there to lay it on a surface like a table. I even did it on my floor, my tile flooring, and I made sure to include photos of what the background looked like before I crop it out. I do apologize if you can hear noise in the background. I have my entire family home with me. It's a whole family affair, but that's okay. So here I took a picture of it standing up with my plain wall in the background. It can be any color of wall. If you have a yellow wall, that works as well. So that's another option. And the trick is to try to get a little bit lower with your phone or your camera to take that photo. Try to get at least eye level with the object so that you can really focus in on it, and in the editing process, it will save you a lot of time. So another way that I found was most of us would have a Cricut mat, right? So flip that mat over and you have a nice white background. Again, it depends on the size of whatever you're creating. So if you're making a mock-up for a shirt, this might not necessarily work, but for a shirt, I would suggest laying it down on your floor or your table. The key to this is as plain of a background, as neutral of a background. So a solid color or colors that you can work with, as you can see like these photos. Another idea is I just took a regular towel from my bathroom. Any color would do, maybe not one that's super patterned, but I took a blue towel, draped it over my kitchen chair, my dining room chair, and then I went ahead and took a few photos. So any neutral background, I even made sure to include the photos of what my background looked like. So with this tile flooring, I have my baby chasing after me to try to pick it up. I took a photo with my table of it just sitting with nothing in the photo. Now, again, yes, you can see some things, but I'm going to be cropping that, which you will see. Simple of a background as possible, the better. So remove anything that's around it or behind it, and then we're gonna get going. So those are a few options. Another one is I made sure to open all the windows. I turned on the above light, and if you need extra lighting, I showed you an example of me taking my lamp and I tipped it upside down. That way I wouldn't get the background shadow as much, and I was able to zoom in closer. So if you have a family member maybe that can hold the light for you like that, or your cell phone light as well, your flashlight, that could work. And that's the way you can get some good lighting if you needed a little bit of extra. Go into whatever search engine on your computer, Google, whatever you have. Once you've uploaded your photos to your computer, you're gonna type in, the first one we're doing is remove.bg. So you might need to scroll a little bit because sometimes other ones pop up, but go ahead and select that one. I have shown this before, but we're going to try and see how it works. So go ahead and select upload image and select whichever one. So for this example, I'm trying to come up with one that would be most realistic for you. Let's do the kitchen table, because depending what you have, I feel like that is a good area to work with. So we're gonna take a photo from the dining room table, and let's see how it does with that. We may have to fiddle around with it a bit, but let's see. It's going to think a little bit, and there you go. Now, could I clean this up a little bit? Yes. But for now, let's download it. It's a little bit dark for what I like, but I can change the brightness a little bit in the free versions of Canva, PicMonkey. You could use Inkscape and all of these different things. So let's go back and try a different photo. Let's upload image and do the one with the towel, that's draped over top of the chair. I think I want one like this. So like I said, as close as you possibly can. I just realized it's not actually showing you my file folder for privacy reasons as I'm selecting the photos. But as you can see, it really easily transitioned from this to this. So the neutral background is great because your computer or whatever software you're using to convert it is able to quickly read what part you need to remove, if that makes sense. If you have all of these things in the background, or maybe like photo frames and things that are very busy, I would say, which isn't a problem in your, everyday life, but when you're trying to take photos of mock-ups, the simpler the better for the background. Okay, so go ahead and download this. And now I'm saying this, you don't need to remove the background in your mock-up. Maybe you want to go ahead and keep, like I have here, and just crop around this. Maybe you want to add like a little bit of a faux flower in there or some florals, something to make it pretty. You do not have to remove the background, but this is what I wanted to give an option for the people that really didn't have a space in their home that they could make look a little bit cute for the photos. So this is what we're going with today. But absolutely feel free to keep the background if you would like. Awesome, so for this example right here, I'm going to be choosing something other than the mug just so you can kind of see a different version of this in case you have something else you want to use. So for this one, let's go ahead and grab the photo that I have of a bucket. So for this one, I did it again on the floor against my wall. It did have the baseboard in the background, but with the PNG to with the JPEG to PNG converter, I was able to remove that background. So this is the original, which honestly is neutral enough that I could use it, and I have used it as a mock-up, but this is me removing the background so that you don't have all of that mess to distract. So we're going to download that. So now that we have a few options, let's start making our mock-up. Okay. Awesome, so I'm going to use PicMonkey for this example, but I'm going to be using the free version so that you can see. You could also use things like Canva or whatever other editing software you like, but I am trying to make it as simple as possible, so let's get into it. Asking me, how do I want to start? I'm going to select upload a photo, and then go to my downloads, and let's select one of the mugs that we have downloaded from our little mock-up remove background that we did. Okay, awesome. So the first thing I'm going to do, you could hit auto adjust. It does brighten it up a bit. I'm going to hit the undo button. But what I am going to do is bring up the brightness just a smidge. That way you can properly see whatever I'm working with. So I like that. I'm able to really see. So now for this, I did show you the process of, on Cricut Design Space, if you have just an SVG or something that you created on Cricut Design Space, I showed you how to remove the grid. That way you get a blank white background. You can screenshot that and then upload it to remove the background like we mentioned in that remove.bg, and then go from there. But if you do not have that option, then that's okay. We're gonna continue. You could take the PNG version instead of the SVG. So if you downloaded a file, let's say off of Etsy or Creative Fabrica or something, and they give you the SVG and the PNG, then we're going to select on the PNG one. So let's see if I can find that. Awesome. Let's open that up and select on that. Awesome. Bring that down, and let's bring it a little smaller. So there we go. Now I'm doing a really quick version of this. Honestly, if I was going to be selling this, I would take a little bit more time to make sure it lined up very nicely. But for the purposes of this video, we're going to do it like this. I normally go down to fade and turn down the fade a little bit. And if you want more tutorials on how to use PicMonkey, I'm happy to do that. Just let me know. I can also do a version where I show it on Canva and different editing softwares. But let's just zoom out for now. So that would be my little example there. Honestly, I would probably brighten this up a little bit, but I wanted to show you that kind of way of doing it where I didn't have to use any of the paid features. I just had to sign up with my email. I didn't have to put my credit card or anything. You can unsubscribe with your email to make sure you don't get those kind of obsessive emails they send. And when I auto adjust, or sometimes if you want to change the exposure here, you can remove the shadows. It's pretty simple. I find it's a lot easier than things like Photoshop and all of that, because that is just overwhelming to me. But some people swear by Photoshop and really like it. So it really depends on what you prefer. So you could go ahead and just download this, start a free trial. Okay, so it's not going to let you download your image. That's fine. You can screenshot it. So it will not let you, there's a free trial option, but honestly, you can just screenshot this. To learn how to screenshot on your exact computer, go ahead and Google whatever computer you have and how to screenshot or take the photo of your screen, because each computer is different. So I'm going to go ahead and screenshot this, and then again I can go in and edit this with the remove background feature. So let's do that. I don't know if it's going to show you me screenshotting it. No, it's not, for privacy reasons, but that's okay. I screenshotted it, I saved it. And now what I'm going to do is go back into the remove.bg.com. I'm going to upload the image and go to my downloads folder, select the one I just put on there. Awesome. Now this is only because I want to remove that background. If you want to keep the background, go ahead and leave it as it is and you can upload that screenshot. But we are going to, that's the original, remove background. Awesome. It's hard to tell that the background's removed because here it has the same thing, but it is a totally different one with the background removed. But this is a photo that I took with my camera and was able to do. Now the other thing I want to show you is if you have an if you have a JPEG image of a file, or maybe you screenshotted the SVG off of Cricut Design Space like I showed you. So this is a screenshot right here from Cricut Design Space of my little design. I removed the grids, which I showed you in that tutorial, which is linked down below, and I screenshotted it. Now you can go ahead and select download, now you can go ahead and select remove background, and it's removed this background. So I can download it. Again, this is the free version of the remove.bg. And now let's say I want to add image. I'm going to go to my computer, select the one that I just downloaded, that is the PNG, hit it and upload it. So yes, you can remove even the grid lines from Cricut Design Space and your white background to make it a PNG image. I highly suggest you look at the remove.bg, and it's super helpful. Like I said, I would definitely brighten this up if I were to list it, but I'm going to show you a few mock-ups that I've done in the past. For this example, I am going to be showing you the mug of sitting on my table with my background and my wall. So first thing I'm going to do is crop canvas. I'm just going to remove with crop all the stuff in the background. So that's why I should have probably moved that plant over just a little bit because it's kind of there, but that's okay. We're going to apply. So this is what we have. Now, like I mentioned, if I was going to sell this, I would go a little bit more into detail. I'd probably have moved this lower so you didn't have the wall there, just the table. But again, this is just kind of an example. And like I said, the more neutral the background is, so the one color, or if you can get it just against the wall or something, the better. So what we're going to do is go to the remove.bg, like I said, and you can upload your screenshot from Cricut Design Space like I taught you how to do. Go to your remove background and download that one. Awesome. And then you can go back to your PicMonkey or whatever website you're using and just add it to your canvas. So we're going to open that one, select it, and there we go. Go ahead and do that. So that's what it would look like. I'm going to do this one as well, just so you can see the kind of different versions. This one is the file that I downloaded directly, but this mermaid one is the one that I created and screenshotted on my Cricut Design Space. There we go. So what I would do here is edit it to make it a little bit brighter, and then I would take down this fade a little bit just to make it look like it's actually part of the project. I feel like, maybe make it a little smaller too. It's kind of tricky, but you can adjust it a little bit here and there. And there we go. Again, like I said, if I were to sell it, I'd go a little bit more into details and trying to make it look a little nicer, but that's another way to make it work. And like I said, if you don't want to do the free trial, just go ahead and screenshot. Here is your mock-ups here and there that I took on my regular camera or my phone and made into either removing the background if you have just a busy background and not a cute area, or you can go ahead and just keep the background but crop out everything else, if that makes sense, to make it as neutral as you possibly can. This would be super cute if I just took it and did it like that. So definitely a fun way to do it. There are ways that you can pay for different things, so I personally pay for PicMonkey and stuff like that, but it's not a necessity. There are so many options with the free versions of things, and like I said, you could use Canva, you could use Photoshop, or whatever you prefer. I really like this one actually. I feel like this is something I would use for my listing, so I'm just going to do a super quick kind of rough copy of what it would look like on my end if I were to sell something like this. So you don't want to change the color of the item too much or anything like that, because you want it to be as realistic to what it actually looks like. You don't want that disappointment of someone purchasing your item and it looks totally different. So let's do this. And we're gonna turn down the fade a little bit, like I said. Just a smidge, and there we go. There you have a really easy little mock-up, and you could upload that to Etsy, you could upload it to Facebook Marketplace, and the great thing is now I can add all of my examples of what I can make onto this exact mock-up. So it's really quick for me to just import the next one, screenshot this, add the next one, and get all the PNG versions of the files that I've downloaded off of Creative Fabrica. And I could screenshot this, but I really like to turn down the fade a little bit so it doesn't look just like a mock-up and it looks like it's part of whatever I made. So again, super cute. Love how this turns out. And I hope that helped. If you do need any extra clarification, please comment it down below. You can message me on Instagram, you can email me, all of that is in the description. And we also have a Facebook group if you wanted to post on there and say, hey, I need some help. I'm happy to do so as well. I'm here to help you. That's what I do here. So yeah, let me know if you need any help. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy crafting.